Hello, Dr. Phil. My name is Joyce Howard Hemmings, also known as Miss Joyce, and I am in need of a real life do-over. First, let me start off by saying I'm a singer-songwriter. I reside in a small town, Jackson, Tennessee, so I'm in between Memphis and Nashville. That's how I always describe it to people, so people don't think I'm talking about Mississippi. I've been singing probably since before I could talk, writing songs since a very young age, always pursuing my dream and really wanting to have my music reach the masses because I love and enjoy being on stage. I love being able to make a difference in people's lives. Early in my 20s, I began working at a music studio. I was actually a student there with some people that I had reconnected with from when I was a music major at a university here, Union University. And through working with that particular company, I was able to meet the young Americans and was able to perform with the young Americans and people in the industry and all over the world. I'm pretty sure if you have anything to do with music, you know who the young Americans are. And meeting those guys and working with those guys was amazing, and I was actually right on. That was my last year that I could actually audition to be able to be a part of the Young Americans. And what actually ended up happening is they had already came down earlier that year and I had missed it. Okay. Another city canceled, so they ended up having to come back to Jackson. So when they came back to Jackson, everyone knows they do the 3-day workshops where you have to go in and learn songs, routines, everything. And I was part of the Blue Team. Go Blue Team. And we actually had to put on the show the 3rd day. And so that's what this is. I did get some solo spots in there, and I actually had an opportunity to audition to become a part of the outreach ministry that travels nationally and internationally, pretty much globally. This is a worldwide organization, wonderful organization. Has gotten a lot of artists in the business, actresses, actors, whatever, a start, in the business. And I auditioned, and at the time I had a little girl, and she was just turning 1. And my daughter, she was born fine, healthy, everything, despite a rough pregnancy. And I didn't think I was gonna make the audition. I believed in myself, but I was like, oh well, I'm right on the threshold. There's a lot of other people there that was younger than me, they might choose, and and everything. So what actually happened is that I found out I made the audition and I had been accepted to the Young Americans. And when I got the letter in the mail, it was so surreal, and I was so happy. And at the same time, it was bittersweet because the situation that I was faced with was that when you become a part of Young Americans, you have to move out to California. And I had a full scholarship to the school that they were preparing out there. We would have been staying, I think they were saying like the metropolitan area of California. And the tours to go to the UK and all these other places that you go once you're part of Young Americans, it's already set up for you. So we're talking about, I'm 22, and everything that I've been working hard for all my life is in this letter at this moment. The dilemma is my daughter at the time, she was very sick. I had just found out that my daughter had epilepsy. She was beginning to have grand mal seizures. I actually end up, after the Young Americans performance, I had to not continue at the studio anymore because, for one, I could no longer afford it, because my daughter had to, get different kind of therapies, and I had to buy certain things, that wasn't covered under insurance for her and everything. And number two, it had got to the point where she was having so many seizures in the middle of her playing. She was, dropping down. So the dilemma is, do I go off and pursue my dream? Because now I've been accepted. Everything is laid out. But I would have had to leave my child behind. Okay. Backstory. A little bit more about me. I was awarded the state, what they call the water state, to the age of 19. It was no way possible in my spirit that I could turn my child over or leave my child behind to pursue my music career. And so that is why I need a real life do-over, because ever since that moment I decided that the greater universal calling that I had at that particular time was to be a mother. And so I end up having to pass on that particular opportunity, the biggest opportunity ever of my life, to continue to stay and provide 24-hour care for my child that she needed at that time. Now we're 10 years later. I'm married. I have 3 beautiful children now, and I have continued to pursue my music independently throughout those years, continuing to go to school and release albums. They're out now worldwide. I've also gone on to win several underground independent awards. I've gone on to become to be in the top 10 locally and regionally for the West Tennessee Idol, locally and regionally for The Voice on NBC. Just several things continuing toward my goal. I'm also nominated this year, again for the 5th year in a row, for Best Female R&B. And I also won for Best Female R&B last year for another award. The album that I have out now is receiving reviews, and I'm also working on new projects. And so it's like, to be able to not give up on my dream, and I was still able to be a great mother, was something that I feel like I made the right decision, even though it, in some people's eyes, it cost me a whole lot. But I felt like that if the universe was willing and gracious enough to present that opportunity to me then, and even though I had to choose what I chose, I still feel like I made the right decision. Because in the long run, everything that I was doing this for would have been in vain, And so it's like, now I want to be able to give my daughter the art therapies that she needs to be able to expand academically and everything, because those the kind of things are not available here, or I can't afford them. And to have that do-over, to be able for people to see my talent, hear my songs, and to be able to spread the messages that I have and all the music and things that and ideas that I feel like I can bring to the table through my songwriting, not just for myself but for other artists as well, would be phenomenal. It would be a dream come true, not just for me but for my family and for my family's families. That's just the kind of person that I am. So Dr. Phil, world, if you're out there, please think about what I'm saying and understand the decision that I made. And some people agreed and some people didn't agree, but I will agree on this: I would never ever stop pursuing my dream to be a singer-songwriter, to be in this business, to be a great mother, to be a great wife, to be great at whatever I decide to do with my life. So I want to thank you for your time, and who knows, maybe I'll see you soon.